Something is happening off the coast of Venezuela. Something big enough to rock global oil markets, get world leaders on the phone, and ignite a brand new foreign policy fight. A massive oil tanker was intercepted and seized by the United States in what officials are calling one of the largest operations of its kind. According to reporting, U.S. forces claim they seized the vessel to target what the Trump administration calls, quote, a pipeline of illicit oil flowing between Venezuela and Iran. Venezuela instantly fired back, accusing the United States of international piracy, barefaced robbery, and a hostile act designed to destabilize their sovereignty. But while all of this was unfolding, while the world stares down another round of tension and retaliation, something very different is brewing inside the Secretary of State's office. Something petty, a decision that blindsided diplomats around the globe. I'm talking about something no one expected to matter, yet somehow Marco Rubio says it does. You know we're going to get into it, but first, y'all know the drill. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you'll be the first to know when we post. This is Pragmotiv News, and it's your boy Trey. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So as we all know, Marco Rubio is no longer a senator. He is now the Secretary of State for Donald Trump. And this week, Rubio found himself at the center of two headlines that couldn't be any more different, which, to put it lightly, proves he is very unhinged. The first one is a high-stakes international oil tanker seizure intensifying tensions with Venezuela. The second one is a bureaucratic battle involving fonts. Yeah, you heard me. A fucking font. Both are real, both are documented, and together they paint a picture of a State Department in crisis, stoking tensions abroad and here at home. So let's start with the serious story, the tanker. According to a detailed report, the U.S. seized a sanctioned oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela according to the Trump administration, which we just talked about a few videos ago about how they blowing up boats and have killed over 80 people, all without proof of them doing anything wrong. So, you know we can't trust a damn thing they say. But they claim the ship was part of an illicit trade network connecting Venezuela and Iran. So the head lizard in charge, Donald Trump, publicly boasted about the operation, saying the U.S. had seized a very large, the largest one ever seized, actually. Why the fuck does he get away with talking like this? That shit barely makes any sense. But let's move on. The move sent oil prices climbing and triggered immediate condemnation from Venezuela's government, which blasted the operation as illegal, piracy, and a violation of international norms. So now take a look at this clip from Adam Mockler talking about the implications of all this.
We are on the cusp of going to war with Venezuela with very little explanation from the current government and very little support from the general population. This is not some post 9/11 era where, there's broad public support for war. Nobody wants this whatsoever, and Donald Trump is still marching forward. Now, there are a lot of rumors that Marco Rubio is the one who is leading this policy in the same way that Stephen Miller will oftentimes lead a lot of Donald Trump's most extreme immigration policy. There are a lot of rumors that Marco Rubio, due to his upbringing and due to his roots, really wants to see the Maduro regime toppled. And listen, so do I, but not in this way, not through a brute force war that is very close to being started through recklessness. Just 2 to 3 weeks back, Donald Trump declared a no-fly zone over Venezuela with no communication, no forewarning, and this was as close to an act of war as you get. Now, the United States is acting like pirates, actual pirates, by stealing oil tankers, taking them for ourselves, and using that as leverage. Donald Trump is a weak leader who is getting rolled by world leader after world leader after world leader, and I have no faith that this administration can successfully execute a regime change. Let me just back up. Donald Trump, since he got into office and since he entered politics, has been getting manipulated and rolled by Vladimir Putin over and over and over. His entire understanding of the Ukraine-Russia war is that he should just give Vladimir Putin land, and that has led to him making some incredibly stupid decisions. Like, for example, he yelled at Zelensky in the Oval Office, And after he yelled at Zelensky, Zelensky still agreed to his mineral deal framework. Then, he went off on Zelensky on Truth Social, and after that, Zelensky still agreed to his 30-day ceasefire. You know who didn't agree to any of these? Was Putin. Over and over, Putin has taken advantage of Donald Trump, and that leads me to not have a high interval of confidence when he's trying to enact regime change in Venezuela. How many times before has regime change worked out for the United States? I want to go ahead and confidently say 0.
So Adam has a point. Those who voted for the lizard was promised no new wars. And they were promised an end to all the current wars. And yet Trump has been nothing but hawkish. From the bombing of Iran with those bunker buster bombs to his inability to stand up for Ukraine. And now this. So you see, this wasn't symbolic and it wasn't a photo op. This is a geopolitical escalation, one with real consequences across Latin America and the global energy market. And Rubio, as Secretary of State, is the face of this diplomatic fallout. So now let's get into the twist that y'all all been waiting for. Because right as international tensions were escalating, Rubio launched a completely different kind of war. Not on Iran, not on Venezuela, and not on alleged global oil smugglers. No, he had to focus all his attention on Calibri. Yeah, Calibri, the font. Diplomats started whispering, emails were flying. There was a memo, a real one, dated December 9th, but not about oil, sanctions, or global security. None of that stuff. No, this was about some damn fonts. According to a State Department memo obtained by the press, Rubio said, quote, typography shapes professionalism. Calibri is informal. Serif typefaces convey seriousness. The department would be abandoning Calibri, the default font adopted in 2023, and returning to Times New Roman. Now, this wasn't a suggestion. It wasn't a recommendation. It was a mandate issued to all diplomatic posts across the globe. And the memo framed this decision as part of a broader effort to, quote, restore decorum and professionalism, reduce waste, and reverse unnecessary DEI-inspired changes. So because the changes was made under the Biden administration, it just gotta be DEI. That's all they keep parroting. Everything Biden did was DEI, DEI. Can y'all tell me how the fuck a font can be DEI? This administration has completely lost their minds and all they damn marbles. They really are unhinged, and we're supposed to just trust them with the nuclear launch codes? I mean, here at Pragmotiv, we have been covering this administration since we started the podcast back in May, and have continued since we started Pragmotiv News at the end of August. And I swear, these stories get weirder and weirder every fucking day, to where sometimes I have to pinch myself and see if I'm really awake, and this is not just some fucked up nightmare that I'm stuck in. But unfortunately, we are awake. And the State Department of the United States of America, during an active international standoff, declared Calibri a threat to the nation. Calibri, the font. This is where we are, people. Now, for context, the Antony Blinken State Department made the shift toward Calibri in 2023 due to accessibility, readability, visual clarity, and modern digital formatting. Now, I mean, Calibri, at least as far as I know, has been on the scene since Microsoft Vista came out when I was in junior high school. So it was past time to upgrade that outdated font. The only time I even see Times New Roman nowadays is if the damn style sheets fail to load on websites. But I digress. Y'all make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your family and friends so we can continue growing the Pragmotiv family. Y'all have been killing it lately with the support, so let's keep it going. Also, remember that you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. So y'all, that's going to do it for me today. Catch y'all later. Peace.